Rigatoni.
Yes, that is my pup.
So go ahead and fill me in on Rigatoni.
So he is a little over a year and a half now. I got him last January.
Okay.
So before COVID, actually. So he's not really a COVID puppy, but kind of falls into that category just because of the timing. So he's a mini Bernedoodle, not too much. We've been to one formal training class ever. And then like the pandemic hit and things kind of, fell to the wayside. And overall, he's a very, very well-mannered, good dog. But for the most part, like what I'm mainly looking for is like, I like to say that he has selective hearing in terms of like recall. Like I go to a park in the morning with all of the dogs in the neighborhood, and he has very selective recall, which is frustrating. His like walking on a leash is very difficult with him sometimes. Like some days he's totally cool and like the leash is loose, and other days he's like pulling to get away like no other.
Okay.
I think like behaviorally there's not a whole lot. But it's generally just like his overall like demeanor and willingness to listen to me. I know that he's a very smart puppy, but he just needs that kind of like fine tuning. And I know that you guys use e-collars, and I've used one on him before. It was like a very like Amazon version, and he seemed to be like fairly receptive to that. But obviously it's like, I don't know the proper settings, and obviously I want to be a little bit more consistent in my technique, and want to make sure that I'm doing everything the right way.
Good. Anything else I should know about Rigatoni?
No, I mean, I think like his excitement levels when like he sees people coming into the house is pretty elevated. So if we could also maybe work on that, again, it's like he's such a derp, but he like just loves people and other dogs, and yeah.
Okay. All right. So I have here. How much does he weigh?
50 pounds.
50 pounds. So
I'll show you. He's right here. He's like watching me.
Oh yeah. So your main focus is, the leash walking, more reliable. You want the obedience to be more reliable, like the recall, and then if you can also kind of address the guests walking in the home and kind of calm them down.
Yes.
Okay. And what other are you looking for? Any other commands? I know you said like leash walking. Like, are you looking for like any other commands?
I mean, like he knows sit, he knows paw, he knows down, all that stuff when he's like, in his best form. But again, I think it's just that overall like obedience and like willingness to listen and actually do it. Like he knows how to do it. It's just it's selective.
For sure. Okay. And then what do you walk him on currently? Is it a harness, a flat collar?
He just has his collar. I used to use a prong collar, and that seemed to help a little bit, but I've been trying actively more to like not use the prong collar, just because I know that I should be able to walk my dog just on a regular leash, and he just has a regular collar that buckles. So yeah, it's like a 4-foot leash that I have him on. Very standard.
Okay, nice. And then what does like an everyday, if you were to have everything you'd want with him, right? If you were to have like a solid recall, good leash walking skills, like everything, what would life look like with him? Like would you take him to like restaurants, or would you take him like off-leash hiking a lot, or how does
I would definitely take him to like restaurants, or feel more comfortable about like my control over him at like my friends, and like if my parents ever watch him, because my parents sometimes will watch him if I have like things going on, or like I'm out of town. Like I want to make sure that like his obedience level is like at a point where like I don't get nervous or anxious about like taking him somewhere or having people come to me. Yeah. And I think like taking him to the park, I know eventually he's like, he loves me too much where like he would never like run away kind of thing. But it's just like my own ability to know that like I can just literally cross my street without having to worry about him. And like everything's going to be okay. And like he'll come if there's anything that happens, because sometimes the dogs are, you know, you never know what you're going to get every morning. So
Okay. Yeah, I just asked just so we can kind of get a general like idea of what to kind of like what program would be for you, because we're not, you know, we're not going to give you all these other fancy commands. You're like, yeah, I probably would never use that. You know, it's just giving you what you need and what you're wanting.
yeah.
And then you have you done like the research on us? And I know you said right now, you know, we do e-collar and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like every single dog that goes to the park that we go to in the morning, we're at Trebs Park, the one at like Webster and Racine. So like literally like I know Jesse's girlfriend, like all of those dogs all have the e-collar. And I just moved into this building like a little over a month and a half ago. So I was like, I had FOMO about, you know, everyone's training with you guys. And I mean, everyone I've talked with has been like, has sung your praises. So like, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of our clients are in Travis Park.
Yeah.
I know there's like Nash, Shadow, Poppy now, it's a little corgi. And I sometimes I can't remember the other dogs, but I know there's more.
There's a lot.
So yeah, I mean, you know, they all are e-collar trained. They were just looking for basic obedience as well. I think Nash was just like that super like happy-go-lucky dog. But he's strong, right? And he would like really pull the owners. And I think like he put his dad in the hospital a few times because he was breaking his shoulder because he was pulling so hard.
Yeah, they live in my building. They're my neighbors.
Yeah. But yeah, do you have any questions or what do you know about the e-collar?
I don't know like a whole lot about the one that you guys use. So
which one's the one that you use, or what did you?
I forget the brand, but it's like it had like a beep on it. It had a vibrate setting, and then like it had like the actual shock. I'm okay with using like whatever, you know. I know that you guys use like the shock. So,
how much was it? Do you remember?
It like was on a scale. It was on a scale from like 1 to 100. So like I have no idea like what that even like meant.
Yeah. Oh, like the cost?
No. Like the shock level.
Okay. Do you remember the cost of it?
Oh, it was like $30 or something.
Oh yeah. So we use Doctra.
Okay.
And we'll get into that later. But yeah, you know, prong collar is a good step forward for like obedience, right? The only issue with prong collar is just like because you're looking for like, you know, the recall, right? Recall is very hard to teach prong collar because for us, recall isn't recall if it's not off leash trained. So like once you take that leash off the prong collar, you already have lost connection with Rigatoni and he's already running. There's no way to kind of make something happen if there's nothing connected to the prong collar, right? Like I said, it's a good step forward just because it allows you now to correct certain behaviors. Dogs are physical animals, so like prong collar, when it chokes up, it closes and it has like spikes and everything.
Yeah.
You make a dog's bite. Yeah. So that's why dogs sometimes, you know, progress a little bit with it because it's their language, right? Other times it's not strong enough to override the excitement, right? It's not enough power, right? Then we go to e-collar, and the brand that we use is Doctra. Has 127 levels. So, you know, there's other cheaper e-collars out there that are not quality like ours. Ours is for, you know, professionals. It has like a mile to a half mile range. It's used for the hunters, for dogs, and it's even like the feeling. Like we felt other brands, and like nothing feels like Doctra. It's very smooth. Have you ever been to a physical therapist?
A little, yeah. I've been to one.
Have you heard of TENS unit, the little muscle contractor?
No, I don't think. No, I haven't used that.
So like they have like this machine where they put on the muscle if it's been torn, and it kind of like contracts the muscle, right? And the therapist would ask the client, I'm gonna raise a number. Let me know when it's too much. Once it's become too much for the client, they lower it 2 numbers down, and then they just let the machine do its work. So that same technology that's used on humans in physical therapy is the same technology that's on e-collar,
Okay.
right? Just a muscle contractor. Jesse likes to call the e-collar electric, but not electricity. So it's not like running through your dog's body.
Yeah.
It's just 2 contact points on a certain like area that it's just affecting, right? And if I had it on my hand and I was going up on the numbers, right? Hold on a second. Tim. Yeah, you're okay. So if I was holding the box, right, with 2 contact points, and I was increasing the number, you'd start to see my thumb twitch, right? The higher I go, obviously, it's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
At 27 levels, right? Look at the cheaper e-collars. Some of them go up to 10. Think of the power outage of 10, right, equal to 127. We just have so many more numbers to be more specific to the dogs. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hey.
Okay, I see you.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, we have 107 levels. 10 and R127 equal the same power. We just have so many more numbers to be more specific to the dog's personality, the breed, and just like the kind of the scenario or situation we're kind of dealing with. So the issue with like the cause, like up to 10, it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 would be maybe making the dog yelp. 4 is not enough power, so then they're stuck here, right? 4, he doesn't listen. 5 is too much. So what do we do here? That's where they struggle with. But for us, we have 50. It's too much. 40 is too little. We can go at 45. It's very easy.
Yeah.
It's waterproof. It's rechargeable. There's no batteries needed. Very simple to use. It's just it literally only has like a stimulation button, a vibration function, and then an on and off button, and then the knob on top to increase or decrease. The reason why we get so much success with e-collar training is because it's their language. Like I said before, dogs are physical animals, right? This is a physical feeling. It's real. It's touching them, right? When we take the leash off, we still have control because we still have the remote, right? Rigatoni is never going to know that you're the one pressing the button. He's only going to know that when this feeling goes off, it's to go to dad if you're doing recall, right? He won't you won't press like that. What are you doing? It doesn't really work like that. With the prong collar, Tony is seeing you like pull on the leash and everything, so he knows it's you, right? E-collar, it won't affect your relationship. Some owners are like, will my dog hate me for shocking them? It's like, no, they think it's like the universe kind of doing it for them in that situation. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. Some other things is owners ask is like, if would the e-collar have to be on my dog 24/7, or is it like an everyday thing, or is it like I do the program and I don't need the e-collar? How does that work? So e-collar is on only when you need it. So if you're gonna go for a walk with Rigatoni, it'd be on, right? Because we can't predict what's gonna happen on this walk. Right, so let's say we're walking on like a busy street and a car crash happens next to you, or like a firework goes off, or something sudden, right? And you're not expecting it. Rigatoni's not expecting. He's like, "Whoa, I'm gonna run," right? And then you're not, it happens so fast. The leash slips out your hand, or like maybe you get knocked down, or maybe breaks the leash and just runs, right? Well, there's no way to kind of connect to him unless you have the e-collar on, right? In flight mode is what he'll be in if he's running away from something that sudden, surprising. Flight mode, dogs are literally thinking kill or be killed, right? So Rigatoni come or treats won't help in that situation. It's going to be power to override the brain of that mindset, right? So it's on when you need it. So walks, just because we can't predict what's going to happen. And are you going to be pressing that button all the time? No, you shouldn't be. It's like me, Jesse, e-collar's on, but we only press the button on walks like maybe like once a month, you know, for emergencies. But it's there to kind of have it in case something happens, right?
Yeah.
In the home, let's say Rigatoni is an angel, then you don't need the e-collar. Let's say guests are going to come over. You'd collar him up 30 minutes, 20 minutes prior. Guest walks in, address whatever that needs to be addressed. And if you find that Rigatoni is pretty much chill throughout the rest of the night, once you've addressed whatever that needs to be addressed, then you're free to take the e-collar off and just let him hang out. You know, it's just when you need it. But does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Especially if you're going to have him playing in Travis Park off leash, it probably most likely will be on, definitely.
Yeah.
Another question would be, how come when I take the e-collar off, Rigatoni goes back to pulling me on the leash, or maybe he jumps again? He knows he's not supposed to be jumping. We've already addressed this. Why does he do it when the collar comes off? So we like to use an example for the, that relates to like the human is, do you drive on the expressway?
Yeah.
Do you go the speed limit?
No.
And then what happens when we see a squad car?
We stop.
Exactly. So it's just opportunistic behavior. It's just a nature thing. So Jesse likes to call the e-collar a cop on a collar, right? When it's present, he knows, okay, I know I can get disciplined now, so I'm going to behave. Some dogs, all dogs are different. Some dogs, they know that this is a consistent thing. They've never gotten away with something without getting corrected. So they know like, okay, either way it's on, something's going to happen, right? Some dogs just know right off the bat, when this is on, I know I need to behave. When this is off, I can do whatever I want, right? It has nothing to do with the training. It has nothing to do with the way you practice at home or the e-collar. It's just a nature thing. If we can get away with something, we're going to get away with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Any other questions so far or anything else?
No, to be honest, I'm like a very easy sell because all of these people at the park have been selling me for like a month now. So
good.
I guess more just like, I know like you guys have different lengths of programs. So like what length based on like our conversation do you think like Rigatoni would need? And like the logistics behind that.
Yeah. So were you looking to do maybe like a daycare and train, or like a one-on-one or a board and train, or what were you looking for?
I was probably looking for, I think I would want to be there for the training. I feel like that would make the most sense to me. So I guess those would be like one-on-ones.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So for the one-on-one, the programs, it goes 6-week, 9-week, and I'll explain. So the 6-week program is for, let's say you walk Rigatoni, right? You do it like a walk. You take him to Travis Park, and then you need recall, and then you walk home, right? 9-week is you do all those things, and then you go to restaurants, and maybe you go to like a friend's house and you need more stationary control, more like stationary control, and like don't move, stay here, don't move until I am done with eating, work, or anything like that. 12-week is like everything. And then you go off-leash hiking and stuff like that. You're more
probably not the 12-week.
Yeah, you're more in like the 9-week, 6-week, right? So 2 classes on the leash walking.
Okay.
2 classes on recall. And then if everything is going good for that 6-week program, we can teach you 2 stationary commands. 9-week is same thing, but then you have more classes to kind of really, to really sharpen his stationary commands for like the patio stuff and like people walking around you and the waiters and other dogs, especially in those scenarios. So a 6-week or 9-week would be good for you.
Okay.
And then we operate at Oz Park.
Cool. Nice and close.
Yeah. We operate at Oz. So let's say you do the 6-week, right? You have 7 time slots. So let's say, for example, Sunday at 1 p.m., you get 7 Sundays, right? The 7th Sunday is an extra just in case something happens. So like a cancellation, or maybe it rains that day. You have another reserved time slot that no one can take away from you, that you have there for you, right? Once that is used up, you would have to wait for more availability to kind of get back on the calendar. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's an hour a week. We give you one topic to practice throughout the week, just so we don't overload you with information. I'm thinking, he said he's 50 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. And then after this consultation, I'll send you a follow-up email with the program I think would be best for you, or if you're going to tell me right now that program, the prices, the e-collar I recommend, and a link to the Amazon website that you can order it from, or you're more than welcome to purchase from us as well. It's all the same price and everything.
Okay.
And then a contract, or like it's a agreement, a paper thing that needs to be signed. Once that is signed, we can begin billing and booking, and then we can get started. So once that's signed, that's when we can just get right into it. Any questions?
No, I guess I to be honest, I'll be more, I'll look at I think 6 week is where I'm like leaning towards right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe just like include pricing for 9 week, and maybe I can see that just so it's all laid out.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll have them both out for you.
Okay, great.
What else? Did I miss anything? And will it just be you?
Mm-hmm.
And you? Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I guess when do you guys typically do trainings? Is it on Sundays? Is it every day? What kind of deal do you guys have?
Usually, I'm not sure. Sometimes, it changes all the time. We have quite a few clients, so what kind of goes down is like you give me your availability, and then I work with that.
Cool.
But yeah, the weekends work as well, Saturdays and Sundays.
Cool.
What else? Am I missing anything? He's over a year, you said, right?
Yeah, he's a little over a year and a half.
Okay. And then it's up to you if you want to keep that prong collar. You can use it for training as well, because prong collar for us is like prong collar and e-collar together is like the ultimate like combination.
Yeah.
Just because, especially when you're not really in the city, but let's say you turn a corner and then there's like a dog there, right? You have that prong collar for control, to kind of just control it, right? Because before you were using the prong collar you're using the prong collar to train, right? For us, prong collar would be there for in case you need to handle him quickly.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't react fast enough to the remote in certain situations, so you have that prong collar for immediate control. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Personal preference. It's not needed for the training, right? All that's needed for training is like the flat collar, a regular leash, a 30-foot long leash that you can purchase off Amazon.
Okay.
Just a regular nylon leash. Don't go buy one from like a store. It's overpriced. Amazon's good pricing there. And then 2 heel, 2 recall, and then one could be like a stationary command, and maybe the other one could be addressing guests walking in the home.
Yeah.
Or if you decide to do 9 week, it'd be the same thing, and then we have more classes to teach more stationary control plus the guests walking in the home.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it from my end.
Cool. And then we also do payment plans as well, and I'll send you a example of how it would look like. It usually is just minus this consultation. So this consultation is going towards your program.
Okay.
Half before the first class, and then the next half is split into 2. I forget which classes they need to be paid before, but that's how it works. Half and then half is split to 2.
Okay, that makes sense.
And am I missing anything? I think that is all.
Cool.
If any questions come up, feel free to email me and I'll answer them. other than that, keep an eye out for that follow-up email, and we shall be in touch soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Enrique. I appreciate your time.
Of course. Nice meeting you.
All right. Talk soon.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.